Hello friends, welcome to Study Tutorials. Today we learn about History Chapter 1, What, Where, How and When, the name of the chapter. And we start with what can we know about the past. There are several things we can know about our past, such as what people used to eat, the type of clothes they used to wear, the houses in which they lived, and how were the lives of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, crafts persons, artists, musicians, and scientists. The games children used to play, the stories they have heard, the songs they sang, these type of questions in our mind, and we find these questions in this chapter. Okay, where did people live? People have lived along the banks of the Narmada River for several hundred thousand years. These people stayed on the bank of Narmada River as they knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forest. They used to collect roots, fruits, and other forest produce for their food. Sometimes they also hunted animals. The areas where women and men first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley was about 8,000 years ago. People who began to look after animals like cattle, cattle, and used to live in villages and the places where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhyas. About 250 years ago, about 2500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of the Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coast. In ancient times, the area along the Ganga and its tributary rivers to the south of the Ganga was known as the Magad, which is now lying in the state of Bihar. Men and women moved in search of livelihood, also to escape from natural disasters like floods or droughts. These movements of people enriched our cultural traditions. People have shared new ways of carving stones, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundreds of years. Names of the land our country is known by both words is that India and Bharat. The word India comes from the Hindus call it Sindhu in Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, the Iranis, and the Greeks who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago called it the Hindus or the Indos, and the land to the east of the river was called India. The name Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda, the earliest composition in Sanskrit dated 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. Finding about finding out about the past. One way through which we can find out about our past is by reading the books that were written long ago. These books are called manuscripts because they were written by hand. These were written on palm leaves palm leaves. You can see in the picture palm leaves, or on the specially prepared bark of a tree known as the beech, which grows in the Himalayas. These books dealt with all kinds of subject, religious beliefs and practices, the lives of kings, medicines, and science. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays as well. Inscriptions are writing on relatively hard surfaces such as stones or metal. In the past, when kings wanted their orders inscribed so that people could see, read, and obey them, they used inscription for this purpose. There are other kinds of inscriptions as well, where men and women recorded what they did. For example, records of victories in the battle. You can see the stones where something written, and it's 2250 years ago. Archaeologist, some archaeologist pictures. Some archaeologist pictures you can see. An archaeologist is a person who studies the remains of building made of stone and big painting and sculpture. They also explore and excavate to find tools, weapons, pots, pans, ornaments, and coins. They also look for bones of animals, birds, and fish to find out what people ate in the past. Historians use the word source to refer to the information found from the manuscripts, inscriptions, and archaeology. Once sources are found, learning about the past becomes an advent. So historians and archaeologists are like detectives who use all these sources like clues to find out about our past, one past or many. The later title of this book is Our Past. First, the word past is a plural is used to draw attention to the fact fact that the past was different for different groups of people. For example, the lives of herders or farmers were different from those of kings and queens. The lives of merchants were different from those of craftspersons, and so on. It is even true today, as people follow different practices and customs in different parts of the country. Archaeologists did not help us to know more about the ordinary people in the past because they did not keep record of what they did, whereas kings used to keep the records of their victories and the battles they fought. What do dates mean? The years are counted from the date to the birth of Jesus Christ and the founder of Christianity. Old dates before the birth of the Christ are counted backwards and usually have the letter BC before Christ added on. In this book, we will refer to dates going back to the present using 2000 as our starting point. 2000 means 2000 years after the birth of Christ. We 2000 years of the birth of the Christ. Here is the questions you have to do. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you like. Please subscribe this video and like, share and comment.